It's my first time trying this tool, but I've been trying it for a couple of days, so it was working great, I think.
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome
Hi.
to the Captain Future Show here about Hack the Crisis with some guests. I'm going to start out with Dimitrij, Carolina, and Sherry. So, welcome, everyone. We're just going to wait a little bit for people to join in for the live stream, and we're going to talk about the ongoing hackathon called Hack the Crisis that is currently a global movement now. So I think it's ongoing in like 15 countries this weekend, and it's going on for at least at least 15 countries have had it before. I found a global map and a list as a tool as well. Do you know anything about this? How many countries are doing it right now?
I don't know how many countries who are engaged in Hack the Crisis, but I know it's a global movement, and we are very happy to arrange Hack the Crisis in Sweden.
Yes, same here in Denmark. We are so excited, and I know that it's a movement that has started from Estonia, and it was very impressive what they did. They did it in 7 hours. Still kind of I'm super impressed by what they could do only in 7 hours. In Denmark, we had started to plan for it about 10 days ago, and then now, yes, we could. We had actually. We expected in the beginning to have maybe 100 people join, and all of a sudden we just said that, oh my God, this was 600 that they joined to our hackathon. And yeah, it's really exciting to see the ideas and the passion that people have. I really hope that we get a really good outcome out of this hackathon.
Yeah, great. So
actually, I have to say that it's the same here. Hack the Crisis in Sweden. We planned for it in 8 days, and well, we didn't know what to expect really, how many people were supposed to attend, but we have 7,000 people attending the hackathon. So it's it's huge, and as Sherry said, the engagement and everything around it is so overwhelming.
Yeah, it's very what you did in Sweden is very impressive to me as well.
Yeah, and I think it's good that we it started out in Estonia, and then Finland had it, and some other countries. And what we did was to look how did they do it in Finland, for example, and took learnings from that. And I think that's a very good thing about Hack the Crisis, because it attracts a lot of people to actually engage in this. And we can take learnings from each event and make it even better. And I know that they are planning this global Hack the Crisis as well.
Yes, I heard about that global Hack the Crisis. Yeah, that's the whole idea to me is that we should totally find all of these people with ideas. We mash them together, and all together we should be able to kind of to come up with a solution that not only help us to move forward from where we are today, but also have an impact later on as well. Because that's also one thing that we tell to all of our attendees, that when you come up with the idea, try to also think about it, that how it can impact later on. And that global one, that will be even better, because let's imagine that you find really cool ideas in Denmark, Sweden, and then all of the people, they team up again together from a broader audience. That can be really amazing.
And actually, we have a lot of Swedes, of course, attending, but also participants coming from other countries. So we didn't make any, restriction that you have to be a Swede to attend. So we have started this thought that the more the merrier, and the better. So as you said, I think the things we hopefully will have the results that we will have in Sweden. It could also be solutions that are relevant for other countries.
Yes, totally. As far as I know, that in Denmark we also got from participants. They also come from places like Brazil and Australia as well. So it's really great to see.
Yeah, and I talked to some participant today, like Annette. She had a global team in her, one from Japan and everything. So it's a global experience, and I've also heard that some people are joining several hackathons at once.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
And I also, I mean, when it comes to hackathons and even this one, we seem to focus a lot of on the hackers, but I am partner manager in Hack the Crisis in Sweden, and also that we have so many companies and organizations from the public sector who are involved in this, and that is also a great thing. I think that this is it's so obvious that if we collaborate and also across the traditional borders, we can do amazing things together.
Yes, totally. And I can see that. I mean, I'm organizing a lot of different tech-focused events and many different hackathons before as well. Of course, they were mostly in person. Not this is my very first online hackathon experience, I should say. And
Mine first too.
yeah. Which, to be honest, I found it way more challenging than the normal one, especially I should say that totally hashtag kudos to all the organizers that they are helping, because connecting the mentors and attendees right now in this online experience is way more difficult than when everybody is sitting in one place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but what I found that really beautiful about this hackathon, because the previous hackathon that I was mostly part of it, that majority of people they were coming from, I mean, they were developers or or a handful of people with a business knowledge. But in this one, the diversity of the people is amazing, as you mentioned, and a lot of effort from public sectors and people from totally different background, and that's the beauty of it. And to me, that should be the definition of when you want to have a project and that you want to actually success, you should have exactly the reflection of the society in that group. So I really hope that we get we get a good outcome out of it.
And I mean, we have arranged Hack for Sweden couple of times, and last year we had 420 people attending Hack for Sweden hackathon, and we have had at that time, but we also have from a Hack for Sweden perspective a focus on mixing different kind of skills and experiences and people coming from different kind of backgrounds, and so we have a focus on diversity. We have experience of that, and we can also see that the results from the hackathon is much better if you compare to only have people from like developers attending.
Yeah.
So we are well, how can you say it, used to that, but in this case doing it in a much wider scale, and also having people from all around the world, because it's very easy to attend when it is on online hackathon. That's amazing to see, and I agree with you. I think the outcome will be so much better when we have all these people with different backgrounds and different competences doing things together.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
And what's your welcome Stella Nordahl as
Thank
well.
you.
So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. I have a little question for you, Carolina, and also Sherry, as I realize that you are experienced with a lot of hackathons. Would it be possible to have a hackathon on a new economy?
Yes.
Because
But
that's
okay.
what we need most right now. Something more resilient and more with a long-term perspective instead of 3 to 4 months, maybe 3 to 4 generations or something. We need a totally different setup for everything from business to societies. That would be great if we could have that. Have you had that kind of topics before, or is it more into solutions of what's if we understand what I mean, more like operative things? This is more a fundamental thing.
Yeah, I think we haven't had that topic before, and we have the 3 categories: save lives, save businesses, save communities, and then we made it very free for the participant to choose what they would do. So we don't have the traditional challenges, just the topics. So right now we don't know what will be the outcome or the results. Maybe someone are investigating the economy in some way in the long term.
Because that could be really interesting. And I spoke to Dimitrij the other weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. That was pre-corona, about doing something like that, because the need is enormous. And maybe a month ago, I said that the interesting thing was that the people around the world could imagine the world coming to an end, but not the economy coming to an end. But right now, I guess this is maybe what we see, that the paradigm that as we know it it's not coming back as something going back to normal or anything. It's more like, what do we want to create? So the need for such a hack would be, or hackathon would be interesting, extremely interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I also haven't worked on such a thing. I just mentioned before that most of my hackathons they were focused so much on the developers and innovation in different way. Economy was not actually, to be honest, part of what I've worked before. But definitely yes, when we bring people, as we mentioned, that with that background on board, a lot of ideas can create.
Yeah, definitely.
What I really love about the hackathons is that here in Denmark we came up with the categories. We didn't come with the challenges. And one thing that is beautiful, that when the teams, they sit and brainstorms. Maybe in the beginning they go and say that we want to focus on the save life, but when they sit and brainstorm and talk, and then the mentors also come on board, and then they all talk together, they can totally go in a different way, and they can see the kind of topics that they couldn't imagine before.
And I think in this case it's very important to have it in that way, because we are in such kind of situation that we don't know what we need, or we have an imagination of, okay, we need to solve these kind of things, but we don't know how long this crisis will be, and what kind of effects it will have in the economy, for example, or on the society, or for our lives. So I think it's very important to have it very open, and to give the possibility to everyone who is attending to like brainstorming and come up with ideas that they think it's important, and then you can take it from there, and maybe do something like a next phase 2.
I really like that you say that, Carolina, because that means that people can bring in their own passion and their own ideas, and also their as much of themselves as possible into it when it's not pre-packed. But it's also interesting if you have like a topic, because what I think it's a hackathon is a wonderful what can we call it, structure for being creative together. But then there is also the next step. How do we integrate it into the existing system and so on? What have your ideas been on that, and what is your experience of it?
Well, I think, and the experience is also that's the tricky part. And for this hackathon, we have a really strong focus on making the solutions concrete, so they can be implemented right after the hackathon, or more or less after the hackathon. They will have like 2 months to implement the solutions. So that's a very strong focus, because it's a challenge usually to implement the ideas coming out from these kind of events.
In Denmark, we also got some partners that they are going to give them advice on finding investors and finding work more on the project in future. And also they can get even office space later on to sit together and work. I mean, I don't know that we will need that office space in this crisis since everybody is working from home, but we try to exactly to find out that how we can help this idea. Okay, you came here, this handful of projects, they can win prizes, but then how they can actually implement it, because that is the difference between this hackathon to all the other hackathons that we worked before, that we really want this project to kind of to solve an actual challenge.
Yeah, and we have done the same. We have 130 companies or organizations in a partner community, and for 8 days ago we had 0. So it's amazing how many organizations actually want to contribute in some way. And I think that's important too, that we have these kind of companies and non-profit organizations or government agencies as a part of this, so they can help the teams realize and implement the solution.
I have a question, and maybe it's to both Carolina and Dimitrij. What are your experience then that when people come in and want to engage, for instance, an organization, what is their maturity for hackathons? Are they able to take part as organizations, not as persons? Because as person we can always bend our mind and stuff like that, but as organizations they often have a way of working. Is this what do you say, Dimitrij or Carolina?
No, go ahead, Dimitrij.
I think it's not really correct question, just because the thing, if municipality or organization just want to take a part of hackathon and publish on their Facebook, it's already a good thing, just because of course I understand what you're talking about, that organizations usually not mature to innovate, because hackathons is about innovate the ideas to change rapidly and quickly, and most of the big organization are not really ready, neither municipalities, neither government organizations. So just they are taking parts, and some of the employers already familiar of the hackathon. It's already a good things. For example, I got a really good experience from this hackathon, just because I connected to Arbetsförmedlingen and to different people that could give me a really quick feedback on their days off, which is showing me really good hope of wow, cool, government people are communicating and doing that. That's enough. Then it's up to us for entrepreneurs to take that and inspire them and sell ourselves, so our solutions, so our ideas to them, so they can support themselves. But I don't think that the things of but some municipality or some government organization will take this and implement it directly and be innovative. It's no, it will not happen this year.
But maybe it's time for that. I mean, a lot of organizations right now, they are facing a reality that they can't handle. They don't fit for it. They haven't any procedures or way of working that is in accordance to the outer reality. So maybe it's easy now to do this. I mean, people and organizations, as I see it, they are extremely open to new practices and new ways of working in this very moment.
I can
Yeah, I think we have I think we have an opportunity there, as you said, because right now what we need is solutions that can solve the crisis that we are facing, and we don't afford to work, like we usually do, investigating and thinking and do. We don't have time for this long process. It has to go really, really fast. So absolutely, I do agree with you that this is a great opportunity.
In Copenhagen, I know that my co-organizers, they work so much with the public sectors and with the municipalities, and ask them to submit the ideas, ask them what they think that it is challenging for them, and they did a great job to bring ideas from these public sectors and municipalities, so people they can help them. And yeah, exactly. This is the part that, I mean, these are the part of the country that they really have these challenges, and because of all that it is so slow when you want to work in that sector, so it will be easy if they bring the ideas and then the innovators they exactly work on those ideas. That can be the bridge for now.
Sounds super, Sherry, and all the best for your hackathon. As I understand, it's on right now. Is that right, Sherry? Yeah.
Yes.
Good luck. I have to go. I have extremely low battery, so I have like 2%.
Okay.
So, thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
See ya. Bye.
What's your perspective as a participant then, Dimitrij? What's the experience of doing a redistributed hackathon like this? Are you all in the same place, or are you communicating digitally, all of your team? Or
I'm together with two teams. I'm sitting right now at HBG Works, which is part of Helsingborg municipality. So Helsingborg's municipality digital department have their own team. And I have my own team, which is really cool. It's a new type of experience, just because I've been in quite a lot of hackathons. I was organizing them, and I won quite a couple of them. The last one is Bosch Siemens hackathon. But it's of course it's a different, just because the usual hackathon where you gather people is about to connect people, because it's not the output of the projects is really important, but those connections are really important, just because after the hackathons you continue, and then a lot of magics happens there. Right now it's of course difficult to connect. I see that like people that haven't been previously in hackathons, for them it's really difficult to understand like what's going on, like how to connect, how to mingle. It seems that like we need to have a special course on like how to mingle digitally, because people still doesn't realize that like you gathered like 7,000 people. From them it's like 200 really cool people, like from Volvo Cars, from Arbis Förmedling, and like from all those digital strategies. It's like people that make decisions and everything, and you can do so many things, and they're like responding so quickly. It's never happened before. So it's I would suggest like for me it's a perfect, because I'm enjoying. I built my stuff right now. I also communicate with a lot of new cool people, but I would suggest to do some type of pre-hack things where you just educate how to communicate with others people, like I don't know, online, and just simple things like chat roulette thing for the participants, like one day before, so they connect to each other and just like get know each other like for 1 minute would bring more value, I think, just for the newcomers, because there are a lot of new people that never
and I think I just want to add that I think there are a lot of newcomers because this crisis engage everyone, even if you're not a traditional hacker. Everyone can join, and everyone are affected by the crisis. So I think that's why we have so many people who haven't attended any hackathon before. And also another perspective is that we set up this hackathon in only 8 days, and of course there hasn't been any room to introduce new people to hackathon. What is that, and how do you communicate when it's only digital, and how do you work together when you haven't met before? But I think we can make some good learnings from this. And one other thing that I think is very positive is that we have introduced so many people in this innovative way of building solutions, and we did it really fast, and it will be much easier next time, and hopefully they will also get inspired and bring those learnings back to their organizations and their daily life.
Yes,
Yeah,
I also
totally
believe
agree.
that this is a totally learning for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's an organizer, as an attendee, as a mentor. That this is a totally new thing, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, there was not many best practices from before, which we have to create it all together.
Yeah.
And I can imagine how much work and chaotic meetings and everything behind the scenes. I would like to see the commentary about how you did manage to do it.
You don't want to see behind the scenes.
Yes,
I would.
yes,
I would. And it's quite a lot of hard work and a lot of like, but it's really good that you did it, and there will be so much outcome from that. It's no brainer about that.
And actually, I listened into a conversation. We had a mentor meeting today, and the mentors attending the meeting, I expected that they would talk about topics that the participant had brought up, but they didn't. Not that much. The focus was actually on how the energy that they felt between the teams that they were helping, and how many people that are so involved and so engaged in this. And I think that's a really, really positive thing, that everybody who attends the hackathon seems to be like it and enjoying the time.
Yeah. But just example of like, I had yesterday I had a last call at 11 o'clock with one of the mentors. Like, wow. It was it's not only participants that giving energy, also mentors that giving the so much knowledge and passion that like do an answer and connect you to people and say, oh, I cannot help, but wait,
it's amazing to see. Absolutely. Really. And I think we have like 200 mentors attending, and that's also, 200 people who want to just share the knowledge to others. It's great.
I'm in that position right now, which I need to focus on delivering the solution. So I'm afraid of asking for help, just because when somebody cannot help, they connect me to another people that like, okay, what could I help? So much help. I'm like, wow. It's a really good experience.
Yeah, and actually, you said that before, Dimitrij, that suddenly you have the possibility to interact and talk to people that you normally wouldn't have the opportunity to meet. People in organizations in positions who are usually very busy and hard to get a conversation with, and now everything is just open.
Yeah, and don't forget about that. Those people that all participants talking to, they also get inspired. So they will take this passion and those ideas and bring to their organization. So probably they was like more boxed in their own like development environment or like problems. And now they're like some new stuff that I've been asking one big company here about this. But can I get access to that information? Like, okay, but I can connect you to some Tobias there, and he, you know, and then she started to realizing, oh, but then maybe I have also I would like to have this information. So like, you know, just new ideas.
And I mean, we know that if you want to learn new things, you should interact with people who are not like yourself, right? But it seems so hard to do that. But in this case, it's so easy because everybody is online, and you can just, you know, like text message, and you will get a response very quickly, usually. So we have this great opportunity here, and I'm so excited.
Cool, really cool. Thank you for arranging it. And Carolina and Cherry, promise me after the hackathon you will take 1 day off so you can focus on yourself, because it's really important.
I think I will.
Actually, I took the whole Easter off.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
But one thing that I was talking to a friend almost about the same topic, that nowadays when you want to do something, everybody is helpful, everybody is fast, and you get everything. I mean, all the requests that you have, it happens in no time. This is something that I really hope that we can all kind of learn and then keep it as a habit, because just imagine after this crisis, if we still can make all of these things happen in a short time, that will be, I mean, that can be a really good learning from this whole thing.
And I think we have to realize that this situation will be here for quite a long time. It will not be over in a couple of weeks or a month. And would we like to go back to what we came from? I don't think so. I think right now we need to change how we work and how we interact with people, and going back to what was normal before. I think it could be hard. So I think we will have, of course, that too, but also. I mean, this is so easy. It's so easy to connect with people, and I think that thing we will keep.
Yeah, certainly. Like me going into Zoom calls all week, and we also before this happened, we planned a hackathon in Pakistan that also that transformed into an online hackathon, and like just the experience of keeping this global conversation going is amazing. But I also heard some really horrible stories about people in some communities in the world where there's social shaming and horrible situations going around Corona and stuff like that. When the culture isn't right, especially like you heard 2 girls in Texas, there was a horrible experience of being isolated right now, and they had no idea how to even get out of their apartment or anything.
Yes, unfortunately, I also heard the stories like this.
So we have to keep the good work up, and whatever come of this, like there certainly be like, if you can build a community and have an ongoing conversation around this, we can like really create a new global movement around using innovation, creativity, and stuff, like solving our problems together. I've seen so many good examples. So my question is, do you know anyone who's like keeping? That's what I'm trying to do. How do you keep a global story of this going? So I've been online on Twitter and Facebook and trying to find people from the Australia event and Slovakia event, but no one really responds or sees the need to keep this as a global story so far. But we really have to do that. And Bertola, who is commenting widely here, he went online. Bertola, can you join us? He's also trying to keep the global perspective of this. He's been researching social capital for 14 years on a global perspective. How do you do bonding, bridge, and linking to build global communities around change makers and connect local initiatives all over the world so they can learn from each other? And I think also this is very important. Like the afterwork of this hackathons, how can we take the best solution and learn from each other? Because there's going to be so much good stuff coming up from each local hackathon, but you have to organize the learning around this, I think, as well. So I don't know, do you have any idea how we organize a global learning around these hackathons going on right now? Not just the hackathons.
I mean, the good part about being an online, it exactly opened the opportunity to all of these communities. They gather together. To be honest, before this Corona time, that I had with some of my friends, we started a conference like this that we call it actually NG Vikings. That the story started by just connecting all of the small meetup organizers within the Nordic countries, and we just said that why we don't join our forces and then do something together. And then by that time it was, of course, it was not online. So what we decided to do is that we started to have a conference starting from Copenhagen, that all of these people came to Copenhagen to help to make this happen. And then we went to Finland, we went to this year we were supposed to go to Norway, so we started to do it like that. But of course, the next version is going to be online. So it is possible to connect all of these small communities together and do something bigger, something more impactful. And by having, I was talking to a friend earlier that by having all of this event online, you actually can make it more accessible for everyone, because a lot of this possibility, it isn't. I mean, I'm coming from Iran, and just imagine that for people from Iran, it was always difficult to travel to go to any of these events, and neither of these events, neither of this thing was accessible for them. So, but I'm sure that even if we go to the place that the people start traveling again, many of these possibilities, I imagine it that they will still going to be like a hybrid, that some people going there, but it is going to be more of accessible, because now we are learning to how to bring everything online. So in future, I believe that the stuff is going to be half online and then half in person.
Yes. And Carolina, you very soon had to leave us here. So any final thoughts from you, Carolina?
Okay.
Yeah. What are your final thoughts about this experience so far?
Okay. Sorry. Well, okay. I think it's amazing that you can gather so many people in such a short time, and not only the participants, but also how you can actually engage the whole society. And I think that's really, really amazing. And what I take with me where we are right now is that everything is possible.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have to leave. Sorry.
Yeah. So, do you have a time to stay on for a couple of more minutes, or do you have to leave as well, Dimitrij and Sherry? So.
I need to focus on my things, so I think.
Yeah, but so great of you to take your time to do this conversation, and it's available on YouTube and Facebook to share to others. And I've shared it in the Swedish Slack channel, but maybe you can share it in the Danish Slack channel. I don't have access to.
Yeah, I will.
So we can continue this conversation ongoing. So I will be here for have some other people coming on in 10 minutes here. So I'll be here talking about this experience as well. So, but so great to be you. So any final thoughts from you too, Dimitrij, first?
Just focus and deliver the stuff.
Focus and deliver the stuff, yeah. And we also have a shout out from Jocke Jagenberg, who also did short run by to you. So feed a hacker. So if you know any hackers out there doing something, go find them online and bring pizza to them. Hackers love pizza.
Thank you, Joachim, for pizza. It was great.
Yeah. And Cherry?
Yeah, I really hope that that the people they can try to think a little bit more global, and then try to see that how they can get inspired by the other people as well, and then try to make their idea more mature, because the whole thing about this hackathon, as I mentioned before, is not, to be honest, to win the hackathon, is that to try to make change in people's life.
Yeah, it is like Dimitrij said, it's both the hackathon experience and also the community building that goes on. Even if you don't come up with a solution, the mere fact of doing this like online together now is also a new experience of building community online. But the typical physical hackathon is also like, how do you make the best use of mingle, connect with people there? There's often like some high level institution and people present at the hackathon, and how do you connect to them to continue work, to find new opportunities to solve more problems? So it's fantastic experience of just being at the hack. I'm a ex-hacker, so I used to do computer programming. So, but now I just hang around hackathons, noticing things, interviewing people. And that was a great experience. So.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you, Sherry. And do share the link in your Slack. You can invite me to maybe your Slack as well, so I can
I will do
see
that.
what's going on there.
Yeah, I will do that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. So there you have it, folks. So some great people here talking about it. There was so much going on, so I have to watch this at least a second time to get all the narrative from all the people going on here. And I have some people who said that we're joining very shortly here in maybe 5 minutes. So I'll check to see if they're online here in Messenger. So, but this is a fantastic experience, and I'm going to continue doing my Captain Future Show live streaming content like this and see what I can do to come up with different aspects and angles of doing things like this together. So I'm going to see people here. No message yet from people joining in, but we will shortly see. And for me, as a old hacker and a gamer, and going to computer LANs as young, like gaming meetups, and also going to convention all my life, joining people, especially during Easter. There was an ongoing event here in Sweden that we're not hosting this year, that's called GothCon. It's a physical gaming convention with board games, role-playing games and stuff like that. That's been going for 45 years now, and I've been there every year since 94, I think. And just going to a convention where a lot of people are interested in the same thing, and take the opportunity to network and connect with them, only if it's a local hub or if it's a hackathon, and try to elevate and raise the conversation. So if you hear some people having bad or toxic conversation, join in and said, step it up or something like that. Or if you're going to any type of event after this now, but now it's mostly digital events. But you get the feeling, if you take the opportunity to elevate the conversation, to have a higher focus and a broader focus on what we are talking about and what we can do together, building communities, solving local or global problems, that is fantastic. So I will any way I can help to further this global community building. That's what Captain Future is all about. So I'm a connector. I connect the dots. I connect people, ideas, organizations, movements, and events. I do live coverage of a lot of events together with Badola and people like us. We call ourselves navigators, going to local and global events, and we also do a lot of navigating online. It's become very apparent now that the whole world, it's finally starting to understand the power of online, the things that people have have all kind of bashing on Facebook and things like that, and they don't really understanding either the tools of social media and how to facilitate the value and usefulness. But it becomes very apparent very fast now in times of this crisis how powerful online communication and collaboration can be. And this is a hackathons like this for the first time, doing online collaboration in a new way. It's a great experience. So any learning we can get from this, I'm very interested. So I'm going to contact as many people who are part of facilitating these events and see what learning we can do to collective learning, collective intelligence around organizing global digital events like these hackathons going on all over the world now. And it's a fantastic opportunity. If we channel this right, we have the opportunity to solve many of our global crises. Corona is only one of 100 of different smaller or bigger, larger crises. The climate crisis being on everyone's minds a year ago, the whole last year before this happened, and no one suddenly big media, but there's of course the ongoing conversation in the right groups. But whole Fridays for Future climate strike and Greta Fernbank movement that has taken the world with their physical actual school strikes all over the world for the last year and a half has been an amazing experience to see that there's an urgency to actually talk about global problems, climate crisis being one of a lot of problems. They're all focused on the 17 global SDGs. So there's a great story and a great narrative. It's the only narrative that we have that is global around all the crises. And Corona crisis and pandemic is just one of many crises that we have to solve together. But if so many people come together to solve one crisis like the Corona crisis, that like we need to see in the global movement like this, 7,000 people only in Sweden signed up to spend their weekend and their free time to do this because they care. How much more energy of communities and people worldwide can we channel to solve any more crises now that we suddenly for the first time experience that we can do it digitally? We don't have to like only show up, and there's also an elevation of the conversation in my bubbles around this. And I know many of you are not in my bubbles, but I can say that the people and the energy and the wisdom and the conversations going on in my social media bubbles on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or on Facebook groups is amazing. So if you can spend a day in my shoes and see my social flows in my Facebook and stuff, I will gladly help you to experience that. And I'm also very curious. I have some of my friends I can borrow their phone and scroll through their Facebook flow, and it looks nothing like mine. So we all live in our social media bubbles, and this is not the bad thing, because we can't leave our social media bubbles. This is the very definition of you being you. You are you and the people you surround yourself with, digitally and physically. And sometimes it's a choice, but sometimes isn't a choice. But we can at least elevate and filter and massage our social flows to nudge them in the right direction. So either you start surrounding yourself with new digital friends, or you try to elevate the conversations in the group you have now. Neither of it is easy, but it's doable. I've been spending the last 10 years of my life moving from my old life to my new life, and it's been a learning journey for me so far. And I will gladly show any experience or learnings I've done during my 10-year learning. So many people now are finally waking up, and they're in need of a new personal narrative, and we're in need of a new narrative as a society. So together we can elevate the learning going on now. And if you know any way to help me, or want to or if you want me to help you in a way of doing this as a global conversation and narrative, please contact me, because that's what I'm for. The whole persona and concept of me becoming Captain Future, this is not a gimmick or something I have put on. This is like the real me. So I have developed the real me and projected myself as the real me, as Captain Future. So this is really who I am deep down. Every waking moment, I play the role as myself. And if you're really interested of this, I'll help you gladly along and talk more about how you can choose your own identity and roles you play in life. And there's some fantastic people doing research and talking about this globally. So there's a short book called The Path by Michael Pewitt that's fantastic of discovering and navigating your own path in life. And I certainly have it's not holistic and comprehensive like I would like it to be, but I have a strong feeling that this is a great step in if you're interested in narrating your own path in life. And that's what I've been doing actively for so many years now. And it's a fantastic experience when you can see it all unfolding. But like all of us are now, our futures is uncertain. So I don't know what we can do on a global level. This is just the beginning of a humongous crisis for humanity. There's going to be so many suffering of people losing their business and going bankrupt and stuff in this crisis now, and that's going to have a lot of cascade effect through society. That bubble, the rings in the water, that one thing triggers another, and then we have no clue what we can't say that this is going to happen because of this, because that's the whole definition of a complex global society. We can have our feelings and thoughts and learning, but we also have to develop like understanding what it is when we have a connected world, and understand how I interact with everything I'm connected to, that is people, ideas, and the companies and organizations I work on and inside and with, and also like the physical things like global supply chains and global things like that, and also global movements in the idea space and global movement in like the knowledge space. And there are also like a lot of people seeking all kinds of new spiritual practices here in the secular West, at least. Like there's a lot of people seeking all kinds of meaning in a world that doesn't contain the old Christian narrative of who we are and what we do. And it's been ongoing for several hundred years in the West since the Enlightenment took place, and maybe before that. But at least the 400 years is an ongoing narrative of us seeking new meaning. And it comes together for what John Verweeke and Thomas Björkman and Manuela Manga, Joshua Cooper Ram or Yuval Noah Harari, some great thinkers talk about like a crisis in society. And I think the meta crisis is the best name we come up for. So many starting uses the name meta crisis that Thomas Björkman came up with. And he's a fantastic TED talk. You search Thomas Björkman and you will find his TEDx talk from Berlin about the meta crisis. And so what's your thoughts and feelings on this? Yeah, I see a lot of people still watching here, and I'm waiting for some guests. I'm going to check my messenger, see if people have trouble joining the link here. Who do we have here lined up? Kurt is supposed to join, but I can't see him online. Ash is supposed to join. Alexa is supposed to join. But still, I'm going to continue to work. I'll be here for at least 40 minutes more before I have to refill my voice and my brain, and then maybe do a live streaming later tonight or live streaming tomorrow as well. So I don't know what's going on. So if you're watching and want to jump in, contact me on Messenger and you get the link. Here we have a guest. So see you, Razvan.
You hear me?
Razvan. Hello, Razvan.
Hello to you, Captain Future.
Welcome to the Captain Future. So what's going on? What are you up to?
Currently in the Hack the Crisis Denmark hackathon.
Yeah. Cool.
So running the backstage mentors, teaming mentors with the teams, checking, troubleshooting, lots of different things to take care of. Basically, the teams each of them are having checkpoints, and checkpoint 1, 10 in the morning, going with report progress. So holding the mentors accountable as well.
Yeah. So is this the first time on a hackathon, or you're a veteran hackathoner?
I've been to several, but this is my first one online.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's everyone's first one online.
Yeah.
So the experience is new. So what are the learnings you're coming up with so far as organizing it as an online event?
Definitely requires lots of planning in terms of the backend processes and the crowd management in an online format. So it's a bit different because you get, let's say, 500 people. Some of them are used to navigate all these online tools such as Slack, such as Discord, Guana, different platforms which we use. And you get people who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who have actually lots of insights in a certain industry, let's say medical medics and professionals in that area, and they have literally no idea how to handle digital tools. So preparing them prior to the actual event somehow would be good. Giving them info kits. This is something that we did for this hackathon in Denmark. We sent them lots of information they went through or were supposed to go through.
Yeah. And are you coming up with this yourself, or are you collaborating with other hackathons, or are you getting something from the one that done it before? Who is the learning process for you? Like, is this?
So everything started in Estonia. This movement of Hack the Crisis was developed by Garage 48. It's an organization which I'm familiar with, and then it's been going across Baltics. It was organized by Startup Wise Guys Accelerator organization that I'm representing. So I'm part of the team. I took the learnings from the Baltics and actually brought them to organize the one in Denmark.
Ah, cool.
So that's how it happened here in Denmark. And then all the other cities in Europe, at least the capitals, jumped on the trend, and let's do it. Let's do something.
It's been amazing. I followed the Norwegian last weekend and stuff like that, and so much great energy and community building. And we talked to some guests before, like it's not just a hackathon; it's also builds a community all over Europe now, or the world, like that, starting collaborate in a new way.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's going to change some behaviors, even especially for the entrepreneurs, investors as well, the way they are meeting, the way they are managing their expenses, let's say. So there will be definitely a change in the format of certain events which are happening in this entrepreneurial world. So all over Europe, you have loads of events who are 2,000 people up. Basically, they are facilitating matchmaking in between investors and startups and corporates to create value. But now, with all this going around, probably by the end of the year, everything will happen online somehow. So people will get even more creative. They will adapt to this format. Another thing which I can share from us, from Startup Wise Guys, is we are actually creating an online pre-accelerator program to onboard all the teams and the ideas that are coming out from all these hackathons across Europe. So these teams and ideas, they are super early stage, but they need a follow-up program to go through. So we are facilitating this program in order to give them more lifespan and keep them pushing to actually get going with their activities, get their MVP or product out there as soon as possible.
Very cool.
So in that sense, the teams need help. They need to be pushed.
Yeah, and they need to be pushed. So yeah. And you're that guy.
Baby steps. Not myself in particular, but at least us as the organizations behind these. So here in Denmark, we are I think seven or eight organizations doing it. So it's Copenhagen Capacity, is Tech Barbecue, is Funderbeam, is the Hub.io, it's Startup Wise Guys. It's also Kickstart Aalborg.
Yeah, you already had an amazing community. I've been to the tech to barbecue, and also the great CPH Tech Fest. So you have a fantastic community there. How is the feeling in this community in Copenhagen right now? Are you meeting digitally daily, or is everyone for themselves? What's happening in a community like this?
Absolutely, everything is moved online.
Yeah.
So the community insofar has been very, very supportive. With you have several dozens of players, let's say, in this entrepreneurship space, and all of them are it's crisis, right? So they help each other.
Yeah.
I mean, they know each other. Sometimes they are competing in some ways, but now they actually came together, and the proof of that is this hackathon. Actually,
amazing to see, like that. Of course, competition has fostered our built our society as we see it today, but now we're moving into an era of open innovation and what we call friendly competition, and even straight out collaboration to solve problems. And what do you think it's coming out of this new energy? Let's say, this new feeling of starting collaborating with people you have never collaborated before.
I think people will, as I said, will change some of their behaviors.
Yeah.
Will be more careful with their expenses, and will say, okay, I can meet you online, okay, and then we let's say if there are talks about big investment deals, right? You go with the baby steps. You meet the persons online, and only in the later stages of the negotiations you can go and meet face to face. That saves lots of money in terms of traveling, logistics, and all sorts of different things.
Cool.
The same corporates, I would say, they will need to, again, they will need to innovate somehow. Let's say move some of their corporate innovation processes. They will need to move them online. Insofar, I mean, I was in a position where I was in contact with corporates and helped them to find startups which solve, let's say, some of their challenges. And this was like a corporate innovation from outside. So basically, you're bringing solutions from outside to use in your corporate environment to streamline some processes, to push out some new products, let's say. And this corporate innovation was usually done, okay, you are meeting, we are organizing a boot camp, we are organizing a hackathon, we are organizing 1 week of matchmaking of some sort. Now is no longer the case. So there will be this, okay, online. Let's see how much we can push it like this. And then when we are in need to sign the document, to formalize everything, to smile for the picture, yes, we are meeting. So something like that. How's your experience in Copenhagen? How do you feel about everything?
I've been there as a guest sometimes. I don't live in Copenhagen. I live in West Coast Sweden, Halmstad. So I'm fairly close to Copenhagen, Gothenburg, and Malmö, and Lund. And I try to observe and visit as many of the ecosystems around innovation startups as much as I can, and attend as many events as I can up until now. That is, but now everything moved online. So now I've been constantly. I've been on Zoom calls around the clock for the last 3 weeks, talking to people over the world. And just trying to find out what's going on. How can we collaborate? And I also took part in organizing an online event called SDG Hackathon for Pakistan. So that was planned as a physical event now in March, but we transformed it into a digital event, and the experience been great. And there's been a lot of international guests from all over the world coming in. So we can really see a new form of global collaboration starting around this digital experience. So my experience so far is that if we can keep this global story going, we can solve a lot of problems during and after this crisis. But there's also a lot of forces in the world that don't really understand what you and I are doing right now, why we're meeting up online. And some people are looking at this with their old mindset and old glasses of the old economy, and not really understanding that it's not just business that move online, that we also actually build a global community as we do these meetups and these events online. So
Absolutely. I mean, for instance, even with this hackathon here happening, like in Denmark, you're no longer limited by let's say the borders of your own city or of your own country. They started now also the Hack the Crisis global movement. So it's going to be like a global hackathon. Immediately, the scale of the events, the pool of talent, the pool of people joining is on another scale.
Yeah. And I saw they also announced one Hack for Europe, something late the week after the global one as well. The global one going to be in 2 weeks, I think. And the one in Europe is going to be the week after that.
Yeah.
So let's see what's happened to this and keep connecting and learning. And we use Slack, we use Facebook, we use Messenger, WhatsApp. There's so many tools and so much craziness is going on. And that's my feeling. Even for us who do, me and Bertola, we do this around the clock, just hanging on different channels, talking to people, organizing, connecting, and like it's hard work to do just the just the social stuff. And there we can see a new role coming up in society that we will call the weaver, the navigator, that around the clock just connects different people doing good work and transform the learning, do the storytelling about what learning going on, and connect different learning processes all over the world so they can learn from each other. Because people working full-time solving problems, they can't spend their full time navigating what's going on in the world as well. So this is the challenge I see.
Absolutely. I mean, again, the learning curve we will be there all the time. It's a matter of also these people who are not, let's say, that digital literate to jump on this learning curve, because it's there and it will always be there and you can't avoid it. You know, you need to learn how to handle the hardware, how to maneuver the software, everything.
Yeah, and that's just the basic skill. Then comes all the cognitive and social skills on top of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what's your thoughts and feelings right now in Denmark? What is the energy you bring with you yourself for finishing this event in Copenhagen?
I mean, definitely the energy is good. The teams, I would say it's only now after 3 p.m. today the teams were actually settling in, working well together, because it's been, you know, there were people who met there first time, they just jumped together and say, hey, these are my skills, we are on a Slack channel together, let's see how we can collaborate. So we us as organizer, we couldn't go one level deeper, let's say, where we can engineer the teams behind ideas, and, you know, putting the right people with the right skills together, technical, non-technical, sales people, and so on. So the energy is definitely good. They find it themselves. Lots of social media posts. Everybody is on fire, which is a good validation that the energy is there. And from our side, the organizers, I mean, we are always on fire, like checking things, pairing the mentors. Some of us are doing the troubleshooting. Some of us are trying to keep the team leaders to be more responsive. In some ways, we are organizing a small Saturday evening bar. We are going to just invite people. Okay, join our bar, prepare your drink. Probably the mentors will join. So all these of different things to make the experience more colored.
Yeah. And I also participate different kinds of after works and dance parties and stuff like that now also that is organized digitally, that never before happened. So this is also like a new human experience, and in this process, like a hackathon is also like the social part of eating pizza and having a laugh together and coming together. So like, what is this like the funny, the party, the celebration part of the hackathon? Like how can you see noticing if anything online, like the celebration part?
Yeah, I think for instance, we one thing to keep us entertained. Let's say we have our own selfie fun channel on Slack, and we are just pushing pictures with our totally messed up desk with what we are eating, all sorts of crazy things, and it's also a way to get an insight from the participants and to kind of document the whole journey, you can say.
Yeah.
So that was quite fun. Insofar, we are having, I think, over 20-30 pictures already. Welcome, Kurt.
We have a guest. Where are you? You're in the US, Kurt, right?
Yes, I am. I'm in the northern part of Los Angeles, a place called the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, cool.
Oh,
yeah. But I used to live in Sweden and India too.
Yeah. Krut Kruger, Spacewalker. Welcome. Yeah, I can see your title here. So have you been following? This is like I talk about the global movement of hackathons to hack the crisis here. Have you been following things online, or is there something else going on in the US, or do you have any story to share with us, Kurt?
You know, the only stories that I have is that so many people are doing one of two things. They're freaking out big time, or they're in, like for us, we're basically ecstatic that we can have this transformation of life happen now, because this is let's say, the earthquake. After the earthquake, we get to rebuild the visions that we have for life on the planet, which means a great new society that isn't fear-based, that is all about community and basically being with Mother Earth as our holder and everything. I mean, we've got a magical time.
But how's the story over there? So I have some friends that talked about the Valley, especially like James and Fjodor and some people. I don't know if you know them, but like they said that there's so many different stories and narratives going on in the US. So like in our bubbles, everything is hooray, now we have a chance to rebuild it. But there's also bubbles filled with fear that don't get our story and anything. So what's your feeling about different bubbles there over there?
Well, I have a neighbor who is what I call a Trumper. So he loves President Trump. And like my identical twin is a Trumper. And same with my sister. But me, I'm a Bernie person. Bernie Sanders, I got a selfie with the dude, you know? So life is all, there's an old scripture in India, it's called the Ramayana. It's a great epic poem. And the teacher of Rama, who's supposed to be God to the Hindus, is asked by Rama before he goes to take over the kingdom after having learned all he could from this guru. He says, what is your highest teacher? What is your highest teaching? And he says, the world is as you see it. So you can see it with rose-colored glasses like I had in the 60s. Or, and I had a longer beard and everything, but that's another story. Or you can see it as hell. And people are having this idea that there's going to be a revolution, and there's two kinds of revolutions for people. One is it's going to go fascist, and another is it's going to go to the progressives, as we're called in the media. The thing that will change things is when we change the hearts of people and allow them to get into meditation and see that basically the same's inside of you is the same as inside of me, and so on.
Yeah, exactly. And I can relate to that, like the narrative of wearing different glasses. I know they have seen some pictures with me.
Oh, yes.
We
well,
wear a Future Navigator.
Future.
I'm Captain Future. So this is like, of course, this is real sunglasses, but also gimmick. But it's mostly a story that to learn to see the world, you have to first understand that all people living beside their bubbles, and they don't see the world as you are. So that's the first thing when you meet someone.
Totally,
you have to be become curious. Who are they and what is going on in their life and their bubble, to say. So if you start to listen and be curious about that, and wear your like curiosity or navigator glasses, then you must more set to understanding what's the narrative in their lives, what's their story, what's going on, and that this is what we have to do much more now on a global scale. Whenever you jump into yeah.
I'm a peak performance trainer,
yeah.
and stress management and all that kind of craziness. And when you want to create something, your words are very powerful. And instead of you have to, you get to.
You get to, yeah.
So don't put effort into life, or you lessen your energy. Your energy field is guided by what we say. So we get to do this, and instead of working at this, I get to do this. You're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm working at it. You're not working at it. You're just doing it. And if you forget a little bit, who doesn't forget? Especially the way they say in Spanish, the viejitos, the little old ones. You know? So it's beautiful. I love seeing your glasses now.
Yeah, they're actually from a company in LA called LA Sunglasses.
Also good matching your t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. I have this is my I hack for Sweden. My hackathon T-shirt I have on as well.
I got to teach at Stockholm University in the 80s.
Yeah.
Idrottspsykologi, sports psychology. Yeah, I love Sweden. I was also married with a Swede.
Ah, great.
Oh.
It was, yeah. Everything in its time.
So, is there any like digital events going on over there that you know of? Like,
well, I've been associated with some people in Colorado and other places in California and so on, and every weekday we get together and meditate at 4 o'clock and dialogue about the meditation, because the meditation is topic driven, and so we break off into smaller groups because it's a good size group of people that are meditating together, and they'll put us in with anywhere from 2 to 5 people or so to dialogue about how that meditation topic resonated with you during your meditation, how it felt, not what your mind went through. And then you can go on into how you figured it out and so on or what. But the main thing is how you really feel deeply about something, because we're connecting up more with our heart, and then pretty soon we'll be able to connect up with the gut, as Wim Hof says.
Yeah. Wim Hof being the Dutch guy
I took
who pronounces the Wim Hof method. So if you don't know that, who's listening, Google Wim Hof. There's a great documentary on the Wim Hof method as well.
And he has a great app anybody can get for free.
Yeah.
And you can start practicing the breathing and the other things that he does. Yeah. Like the week before I had my 2-day surgery on my back, I did the training here in Los Angeles, and I was in the water. I'm only 74. And I was in the water longer than about 550 people, and there were about 600 people in the place. But it's all just because of doing the little simple things that are on that app. And when you do those things, you're sitting in ice water. I mean, half the pool is filled with ice and half of it with water.
Wow.
Yeah. Thing that you cannot do, and that includes changing society. But people focus on what the bad things are rather than focus. It's like Barbara Marx Hubbard, 60s, that we should have a Department of Peace instead of a Department of Defense. Because defense, we always have to make excuses to defend. And so we get into this war and that war. And America's been in wars, like all but 27 years of its existence. And we're supposed to be so-called peace lovers. Yeah.
Yet you don't have, your biggest institution isn't one for peace.
No. We put half of our government fees into defense, and the rest of it is for everything else. It's insane. And 2 countries are really on top of it. Bhutan and New Zealand, focusing on gross national happiness rather than gross national product.
Yeah. Yeah, I follow Jacinda. She has a fantastic Facebook Live personal. So follow Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand. If you want a good example of a good leader in this time, she's the one to follow.
Easily. Ooh, I'm outside because I'm keeping squirrels away from my garden. We've been on regenerative gardening here, and
we lost you there, Kurt. Yeah.
And the squirrels.
The squirrels, yeah. they took him. No, they took squirrel. No.
going to be a gun.
You're lagging, so you have to go back in Wi-Fi range where it is, Kurt.
Yeah. I'm finally getting to talk to you, Captain. I mean, it's so nice. I've been talking with.
Yeah, we're losing you again, Kurt. So if you're on Wi-Fi, find a better signal or whatever you are. We're losing you, Kurt.
Oh, that's because I'm walking to be able to also keep the birds away. Do you hear me now?
Yeah, we do.
You can hear now again, yeah.
Okay. Kurt, have you considered taking these meditation sessions online somehow, given the current situation with the COVID-19? Is there such a thing happening?
That's a good idea. I think what we could do, I'm going to pose it to John Records. He's the one who organized the whole thing. And that we'll put it online and allow people to at least see the kind of thing that we do, and they can then bring it to and spin it around and around more. I'm not so technologically savvy, but he is, and so are some of the other people involved.
Yeah, and we have people in our network who can help you. So they just reach out to some, ask on Facebook, and someone will help you. So
yeah. A big key for me is I don't know if you've ever looked at the worldfestorganization.org. If you look up that online, it's a primitive page that I put together about an idea that will culturally transform societies.
Yeah.
And the idea is to have a big festival everywhere in the world, but it'll start in like 3 or 5 cities or whatever. And the big attraction is obviously music. And so imagine the LA Coliseum. It's got a park around it, and there's 4 hours or 6 hours of rappers and 4 or 6 hours of rock and roll and 4 or 6 hours of classical and jazz and so on this equinox weekend in September. It's the longest day of the year. Actually, it's the equinox. It's the equal day and equal night in September, and it's the warmest in the northern hemisphere where most of the people live. So outside the park, while people are listening to the rappers, they could be having ethnic food, see ethnic dance, cooperative game activities, booths where you can find out how to be peaceful within yourself and your family, where and how to volunteer your time and expertise. There's a whole bunch of activities that allow people to be able to get together and share time together. Because the main reason people fear people is because they don't have dialogue with people. They don't have a chance to be with people that are different than them. And the attraction is, of course, the music, and all kinds of people like music. And then all the monies generated go to quality charities, and to be able to go to spread it to more and more places. So even Timbuktu and Bismarck, North Dakota could have it. But it'd be live streamed also. So people who want to donate to it can donate to the charities that are involved with it. And it would be really selected charities, not like what we call United Way, which is we call it United Ripoff, because they spend about 50% of their money, for their officials and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's a primitive website, and if it was put together nicely, manifest by next year at the latest, if we're out of the doldrums.
Yeah.
I'm so
happy. Are you familiar with? Great. Are you familiar to the Now What movement that Ben Roberts are hosting in the US? I think it's New England somewhere, north of New York. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a great experience as well. So I joined in a couple of calls that started this week, and I'm going to join in next week as well. Then he has a fantastic graphic tool who can see who's connected to who over us. So it's a graphic map of connections and where they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you're going to follow him and
yeah, I'm a great fan to so I'm going to jump in as many call as I want as well to discover how we can further this story. So he's doing great work around like taking this story further, like the global story.
Well, the big thing is connecting up the matrix.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I shared so many Matrix quotes during the last week, and I'm a big fan. So finally, I get to share the quotes that describes the moment we are in now. Like so many people are not ready to wake up, but they're forced to now. So it's very, very much of a cognitive load to people not understanding the world and what's happening right now because they're not. But it's so amazing that the movie that was made so long ago still describes the challenges we meet today in such a good way. If you listen to what they're really saying, that is.
Oh yeah, it's like seeing that movie by Cameron. It's the outer space movie.
We lost him there. Yeah, Avatar. I think. Yeah, I think he meant Avatar.
Yeah.
You mean Avatar, right?
Yes, I do. Totally.
Yeah. So Razvan, have you seen The Matrix? Are you a fan?
Yeah, I've seen it. But way back in the days.
Way back,
yeah. They're making a new one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're making a fourth one.
Yeah.
So we're very interested.
Supposedly $1 billion on it.
Whoa. Bringing back Neo and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. So let's see what the narrative is now. If they can connect this to the global thing going on right now, that would be fantastic.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a genius. He's something else. Yeah.
I mean,
he lives. He used to have a school in Topanga Canyon, which is about 15 miles away from me. Actually, it's about 30 miles away. And then a friend of ours took over that school because he moved to a different place. But he's a totally great soul. Really doing good work.
Gents, I will have
Razvan, where are you?
Yeah,
I'm based in Denmark, Aalborg, Denmark. I think we lost him again, but
he can hear us, but we can't hear him. So.
Thank you so much for this. I need to leave. I have some hackathon duties to take care of.
I'm taking all of your hackathon time here.
Stay well and
good meeting you.
Keep up the good conversation.
Yeah, and connect so we stay connected and we continue this conversation. So awesome, Razvan.
Bye-bye.
So, my friend, this is quite interesting. We're growing and growing our skills and connections. But then again, it is the time and obviously the place is good old Mother Earth. And do you know about Pachamama Alliance?
No.
It's Pachamama.org is the website, but their vision statement is to create an environmentally sustainable, spiritually fulfilling, and socially just human presence on the planet. And they do it through a series of programs that make you feel the oneness with life. So how are you going to F it up? You don't want to F up Mother Earth or your brother or sister?
No.
Yeah. And it was started by Lynn Twist and her husband and one other guy, I forget his name, but they give fantastic programs all over the place. And they also give programs on drawdown. You must be familiar with Drawdown, right? The book by Paul Hawken.
Yeah, I know Paul, but not. I haven't read his book. I have seen his online stuff. I'm like a listening guy, so I prefer podcasts and YouTube video. So I listen to a lot of people.
Yeah. That's why.
I lost you again, Kurt. Great. So we have to talk again soon. So I'm gonna. This is my next experience of doing live shows on Captain Future Show, but I like it so much. I'm gonna continue doing this a lot.
I bet you would.
Yeah.
You're so gregarious, you know.
What does that mean?
It means you're so outgoing and freely exhibit yourself as yourself.
Yeah, that's my whole mission to become more myself and my whole self. So
that's it. All right. It's fantastic meeting you, mate. And I love you and be well.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Cheers.
So there you have it, folks. A great show, 1.5 hours, like I figured it's going to take. I'm going to take a break now, and if I feel like it, I'm going to go live later tonight, or else we will follow up with some interesting people if I can collect them tomorrow. So if I find more people in the hackathon world tomorrow, I'll try to gather them together for more great conversations. And after that, we of course, all of my network and the people I can find, going to continue the conversation that we'd had partly today. Not the hackathon conversation and the Corona conversation, but the whole society conversation, where the Corona crisis are part of it, and the hackathon is partly part of solving the crisis, but also part of building a global community right now in this space. So, and like we talked about the community part, and Bartola shared some links about bring it up. If you want to learn digital community building, Institute for the Future series is awesome. Among other, Howard Reinhold is telling about his experience from Stanford and the work. So yeah, I'm going to find out a link to it in the comments from the YouTube and the Facebook video that it produces as well. Or Bartola can maybe find a great link there if you want. So, and I have so much link. If you're interested in what I talk about, the meta crisis and such, I put together a document. I think I have it in Evernote, so I can share a link to my Evernote document where I sum up some of the best YouTube videos and audiobooks and blogs about the meta crisis and the meaning crisis or the Corona crisis, all the crises that going on to now. So some of my best links that I'm very interested in. Of course, I'm a link collector, and if you have great links and a great list of the top stuff you're interested in, please share it with me, and I will compare notes, and I will integrate some of your best stuff in my list, and you can integrate some of my best stuff in your list. So great talking to you. I will share that in the comments as well for this live stream video right after I finish this. So if we haven't have any more guests, I will stay on for maybe 2-3 more minutes to see if no guests dare to show up. I will finish this conversation very shortly here. So interesting experience to having guests. I love this tool now already. So last weekend we tried both StreamYard and Zoom. Zoom is fantastic for video meetings, but if you're going to stream and have a studio and a show like me, I think StreamYard was way better than Zoom. It's easy to use, and of course there's lots better professional stuff, but so far I'm a one-man show, so I host and share links and do everything myself. And StreamYard was very, very simple to do this. I can on this one side here, I can see all the comments from the Facebook live video and the YouTube video. So if anyone comments, I don't have to switch panes. Of course, I have a second screen here where I can put up my show to see if anyone comments while I'm streaming and stuff like that. But I give you the meta. But in this tool, you can see that, and you can have a waiting room like a real TV show where guests are waiting for come on and stuff like that. So you don't have to put everyone on at once. So this is more for like the show and the streaming. And Zoom is much greater for me. This is not a meeting tool. This is a live streaming tool, but Zoom can be used for live streaming as well. But I love the interface. You can easily see clear names of everyone. You can see my Captain Future name here, and everyone's name is much clearer than the Zoom version. And if someone posts an interesting link, like Bartola just said in the comments, I can just press show here, and you see that this from Facebook. You see his name in his profile picture and everything. So it's very beautiful, done for a simple tool like this. If you have other great tools like this, please share with me. The learning starts and continue today. So new greater tools for learning and streaming and collaborating is of course welcome. But I love it so far, so I'm going to continue using it. I've been live streaming to my personal Facebook page and YouTube right now. So I have the basic version, the $25 per month version. There's a pro version as well when you have unlimited. So maybe I'll step up to that. I tested Rehan's. He had a full professional one, and then you can stream to like unlimited number of Facebook pages, Twitter, and YouTube and all the channels as well. But this is limited to 2 channels, and I'm going to see if I'm going to continue share to YouTube as well. I choose to stream to YouTube, even if I don't have so many listeners on YouTube. I choose to stream there, so there's the direct link who people in the hackathons can share right now. For many people are not on Facebook there yet, but they're on Twitter, so I share the YouTube link on Twitter so far. That's why I choose to stream to the second one to Twitter. But maybe I switch to my personal Facebook page and also to my Captain Future page. This is my Captain Future show page on Facebook. I have several pages there. I experiment a lot. So if you have, it's also about the algorithms, what that works best and stuff. And we don't know, because the algorithms in a black box. So we don't know what choice of streaming channels are the best. But if you know anything about let's talk more. And if you know anything more about community building, let's talk more. And what happens now? Let's not just make this as a one-time hackathon event, and like really continue the journey and this is a stepping stone to the next thing, so we don't fall down and have to start over again. Like so many global events, you meet people once a year, and you continue conversation you had a year ago. Nothing has happened. Almost nothing has happened since a year ago. But in this period of time in humanity now, we have to start really learning from every event and stepping up the conversation, stepping up the learning, so we climb up this ladder to a new type of civilization, society, and so we can play humans together. Some call this, like we call what we're doing in Sweden, the Swedish experiment, but I like to call everything we have been doing as humans for the last couple of 100,000 years the human experience, to building a global civilization and society that escalated into the story we have today. And the story doesn't end here. Hopefully, the story will continue for many years to come. And I would say that I will call it like to build a global civilization that will stand the test of time, that will live on for at least 10,000 years, but maybe millions of years. That would be such an amazing thing. And that is not something we get to experience today, because we won't live forever, so what we know of so far. But just being part of building the ground ladder of this the human experience, like I call the human endeavor. Hello, Sadaf. Hello, Birgitta. The name of the tool is StreamYard. If you're following on Facebook, you can see, if you go into my page there, I have a post link to how you actually can join the show. So if you want to join Birgitta and Sadaf, sure, you can join Sadaf. You have to have a link, and Birgitta. So text me on Messenger. I'll send you the link if you can't find it on my Facebook page there. So we'll have some new guests. Here we go. Birgitta and Sadaf. Artola, you want to join as well for finishing thoughts? You have been following the whole conversation, so you can finish up our thoughts here. Let's see if we can. So there we go. Let's see if no one in the studio yet. Are you getting the link set up so you can join us here? There you go. I shared it. Now it's in the comments. Let's see, open random support is how we practice this. So we don't know who's going to show up all the time. Some places I book people. Some people just show up randomly, like Kurt here and Raswald. I forgot his name, but yeah. So if you want to join in, let's see what's happening here. Great seeing so many people staying with me. I'm glad so many people have joined my stream. So this is an amazing experience. I have to drink something because my voice is running out. So last weekend I did the experience. We broadcasted around the clock. So I said I'm a night owl. I can do the night passes. So I ended up doing a 6-hour stream on the Saturday night and a 5-hour stream on the Sunday night and a 4-hour stream on a Friday night. And it was the one on Saturday, 6 hours straight, just mostly talking for me. Five of those hours were by myself. So it was an interesting experience to see myself sitting to talk for 5 hours with only like a short 2-minute breaks in the middle. Can I keep the conversation going? Can I have it fresh? Can I keep my mind spinning and saying new things? I don't repeat myself and stuff like that. It's a really interesting personal experience. And then I found out I really enjoy this live streaming stuff, like constantly having cognitive edge of who I am, where I am and what I'm saying, so that I can keep a conversation going for 5 hours. And of course, it went deep into silly mode and stuff like that because you can't keep your sanity whole for 5 hours. But a really interesting experience. So great. So I can do this for hours more, I think. Just continue without repeating myself. I can at least not say the same things in this conversation, but I can at least see what's going on in other conversations. We have Abdul here. Hello, Abdul.
Hello, Captain Future. How are you?
I'm good. Great seeing you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us, where in the world are you?
Right now, I'm in Pakistan, in capital of Pakistan. I'm in Islamabad.
Yeah.
Staying at my home, quarantine myself.
Quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went. I don't. Did we meet when I went to Pakistan?
Yeah. We already. Yeah. We meet.
I met so many, so I don't remember all.
I remember. I have a very beautiful picture of you in red shirt.
Yeah.
You wear a red color, and I like red color. Yeah.
I love red as well. So I don't have it on me, but I have my red.
I want to know.
Red shirt here as well. So.
Red. So this is a very cool shirt. Tell me, can we use Zoom as well for streaming?
Zoom, yeah, you can use Zoom for streaming as well. Yeah, I don't know if you can do it for the free account. I know Carla.
No, I can buy, no problem.
Yeah. This is StreamYard, so it's a web tool. So I think it's much better for Zoom for streaming hosted shows like this. If you have a online gathering or meeting with lots of people, you can't use this. This is maximum 6 people at the time. So if you're like an online meeting and want to live stream that, Zoom is perfect. But for as a show like mine, when I talk to people, this is much better. You can see your full name on screen. It's much better for like quality conversation. Okay. Yeah. And I can see all the comments in on my page.
Actually,
I can see
Actually, 2 days ago, I buy a very basic, package by stream. I think $25 something. Yeah. I'm just trying to use StreamYard. This is fine. This is very good. But one of my friends told me that Zoom is better than StreamYard because I don't have experience.
Yeah, I don't know yet, but I'm experimenting with both Zoom and StreamYard right now, and so this weekend I'm testing StreamYard.
Oh, okay. And you have experience with Zoom. Zoom, we can also connect with Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah. You can do all that. So.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I asked a question from you in last conversation when we talk with Dehan and with you.
Yeah.
I want to do some digital steps in Pakistan for construction industry.
For the construction industry, yeah.
Yes. In Pakistan, construction industries, the companies are very small. There are 2 types of companies. Some companies are very good, very big companies, but more than 60% companies are very small companies. I want to use some digital gears for that companies.
Yeah.
And what you advise?
For meetings or conversations, or what type of work do you mean?
No,
to organize things. Yeah.
No, not for organization. In Pakistan, for the marketing and for the branding, people do not know how to market the business to using a social media.
Yeah.
There is a lot of people, more than 60%. They do not use, they don't know how to use a mobile phone properly for their businesses. They use phone just for Facebook, just for movies, playing games, and etc. I'm trying to convince them during my quarantine time that use this smartphone for their business, for their education, for their skill sets. So I would like to ask from you, because you are a very technical person, how they can grow their businesses using social media.
Yeah, like I'm. So two things: you have to have your story. What like some people call it pitch, but what is your story? What is the value you provide? So really understand what is the value you do as a person or a small company and stuff. What problem am I solving, or what value am I delivering? Is it the need I fulfill to someone? Is it the urgent problem I solve? What is it I do? When we get that straight, you learn. You start telling that story, and then you just start telling it. You tell it over and over again until you become so good at telling it that people really understand it. I started my own journey of telling who I am and what I did 10 years ago, and nobody understood anything, not even me. But I kept telling my story. So that's what you do. Take your smartphone and stop telling your story. Who am I as a business owner? Who am I as a parent? Who am I as a friend or a family member? Start telling your story over and over again, and then you become really good. And listen to yourself, and then listen to yourself telling your story, and then you become better at telling your story. As a company, start telling your story. What value do you provide? What challenge do you solve? What are your product? What are your service? And tell it over again, and ask for feedback from friends, and so you can improve and iterate and learn the storytelling of your part, and you become very good at it. My favorite guidance in this is, of course, Seth Godin. You can find some very good YouTube videos with Seth Godin where he talks about the connection economy and storytelling. So start with Googling Seth Godin, some of his talks that came out during the last 10 years. He will explain very good how you tell your story as a company. So that's my advice to you, to business owners there. And if people don't know English, you can listen to some of Seth's stories and translate them to Urdu or something like that, and retell what he's telling. So start doing that.
Yeah, this is a very good idea. This is very good idea. I like it, because if I can, I would like to tell you my story. 3 years ago, I started making videos. I was very much shy. You can't believe that when I saw the camera, I can't speak my words. But day by day, I'm very good now making videos. So I agreed with you. If you make your videos and if you spread your message to your audience, to your client, to your market, you will learn from your mistakes, and one day you will, register yourself as a very good businessman.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my good advice. Yeah, and like the important part is you have to listen to people around you. You have to listen to yourself. So the listening and the learning part is really important. So if you just tell the same story over again and you don't change anything and you don't learn anything, then it's futile. So the important part is to listen to yourself and listen to others around you, so it becomes a learning experience.
Michael Cillian, I have another plan. After this quarantine, I'm going to start a platform in Pakistan where I will hire some digital expert from Pakistan and as well from out of the country, like as you, as Ms. Karala, for speaking English. I talk with Amrita. I want to, build an audience for a small industry. We will pay them as well, and some of the experts like you, like others. We want to make a connectivity with the market. Actually, there is a two type of persons in my country. This is very important to understand. One type of person, they are always available on social media, like on Facebook. You will find them on YouTube. They're making videos. This is another industry. The biggest industry in my country, more than 75% people, they are doing a business in grounds, but they are not connected with the social media. When I talk with them and ask them and tell them to use a social media for their branding, for their profiling, for learning, for teaching, for guiding, anything, for anything you can use social media, but they are not willing to use the social media in the business. But now
Okay.
people in my country, they are taking us serious, because when some serious businessmen came in the industry in social media, for example, when I came and started making videos, alhamdulillah, I have more than 200 employees in my companies. So people like to learn, people like to listen, people like to watch. So I want to, gather some serious people around the world. They came on a social media, and we make some type of a very good platform where we met the people physically and by social media as well. What is your suggestion?
I don't know where to begin. So, but I'll think a bit for a few minutes here. So see if I can come up with something. It's hard to say. I just do it. I just use Facebook myself mostly, so I don't know really where to start there. But I come up with some. You have another? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will make some working mechanism, and I will inform you about that. And I would like to use your profile and your time as per your comfortable and your convenience. Then we make a good mechanism for for working relationship.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Sure.
What is your main expertise, which we can use in Pakistan?
For me, it's like I would say digital storytelling. How digital navigating. How do you make sense of a world digitally? Community, what's going on? See behind the words when something is communicating and saying something. That's what I try to specify.
If I introduce yourself to some Pakistani companies, and they will hire you for telling the story of their companies to the whole world.
Yeah.
What I understand. Am I right?
Yeah. So like understanding what is the essence of the story, the value they provide and stuff like that, to see the real meaning of what you do. So that's what I can see. Like we call it connecting the dots. So like see what is really said and believed in the story of a brand, of a company. What do they really do? And most people don't have a clue, and that's only human. So like I give perspective, you can say. I'm a perspective shifter, or help people get perspective on things and see things from different angles and different perspectives outside their own bubble.
Okay.
We have Rabia on as well here with us. Do you know each other?
Yeah, we know very well. She is like my sister.
Okay.
Actually, she introduced me with yourself.
Yeah.
Hello,
Rabia.
Actually, when she came in my city, she become my host.
I know that.
You have your background hum from your computer again.
Actually,
Okay,
I'm living in Islamabad, in
Okay,
capital.
Yeah.
Rabia living in Multan. But when Rabia came Islamabad, she hosted everything, and I guess I become a guest of Rabia.
So for people listening and watching now, I went last year. Me and Bertola, we followed Rehan to Pakistan in November, and I stayed there for a whole month, and Bertola for two weeks, something like that. We took part in the Lift Pakistan conference, and we met some great people. And I traveled the country. I've been to Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore, and I went up into the mountains to see the K2 and things like that. So it was an amazing journey and learning journey for Pakistan to experience. I know nothing of Pakistan becoming there, and I met some great people, like the top people working with SDGs, global goals, and digitalization and everything of Pakistan. So it was amazing connecting to you, Rabia and Abdul, and other people there. And everything is a blur. I met so many new people every day, so I hardly remember anything. But at least every day I did what my learning journey was, making a reflection video every night. What did I see? What did I learn this day? What dots did I connect? So that was the mission and the task Rihan gave me coming there. What dots and what perspective could I give to things, people who live in Pakistan who can't see things with my Captain Future eyes? So that's what I was doing. So that's the value I provide. I can make say what I see with my Captain Future eyes.
Very well.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to tell you one thing. Sorry, Rabia. I want to just mention you one thing. Hundreds of people visited daily in that conference, and everyone remember you. You know why? due to your two things. Number one,
Yeah.
your hairstyle, and second, your red, shorts and red shirt. That is
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah.
everyone remember you.
Yeah, I don't have it now because of the headphones, but I have my hair up in wings like that. So
Yeah.
that's the Captain Future hair, and I have a lot of red shirts. I love the color red is my favorite color, mostly because I loved red as a child, so I've been with me my whole life. But also since we talked about the movie The Matrix before, and since that movie, red has become even more important. So many of you can see my logotype and all my writing is in red and blue. Type fonts and everything, and that is all connected to the Matrix. That's when Neo has to choose between the red pill and the blue pill. The red pill represents waking up and being curious about yourself and the world and understand things, and the blue pill is closing down and not being curious about anything and just do business as usual and be stuck in your own rut and your old story. So the red pill is choosing a new story every day, being curious about yourself and the world. So that's why I use the color red and blue so much. The red representing choosing the new story every day.
Yeah. Michael, I learned from China when I traveled China. The Chinese people using red very too much. When I asked one of my business colleague in China, why you are using a red color, she told me that red color is a very lucky color in China for business. So I'm also using red color. Yeah, I love red color.
Yeah.
I think Rabia's mic is off.
Yeah,
from
she
your
has
side.
some audio problem with her computer. But she's been on the show before, so I know there's something going on there. But can you tell us something about
Why, Rabia, you can use your mobile. You are not hosted the program. Why you are using a laptop?
Okay, actually now it will be better because I just when I plug the charger on my laptop, then it makes some other noises.
But Rabia, if you have smartphone, that why you don't use smartphone for live streaming?
Okay, I also use that as well, but it is more comfortable like on the
Okay.
laptop. And I want to say, yes, Abdul Rashid bhai,
You disappeared again there, Rabia. So this
Yeah,
whole
actually
experience, I've been live for 2 hours now, and it started out as a conversation of the global hackathons going on all over the world. I don't know if we've been part of the SDG hackathon for Pakistan that is partly connected to the crisis going on, because the narrative of that quickly switch to what's going on around SDGs and the Corona crisis. But I know there's a lot of global hackathons going on in Australia and a lot in Europe, and even some in Africa right now. But I don't know. So this is like a global conversation, how we connect globally and solve our problems globally using innovation, curiosity, and building communities that come together and solve problems. And I had such a great time meeting your communication community around Lift Pakistan there. So it's an amazing experience to see that all over the world people are coming together to solve problems together. So this is what this conversation is about. And now we lost Ravdol as well. So I've been online for almost 2 hours now. 3 minutes left till I'm 2 minutes the 2 hour mark. So if no one else is joining, I had Sadaf, she would be coming on, but if you're gonna join on a browser or a computer, you have to use Chrome or Firefox or Opera. I'm a big fan of Opera, the Norwegian browser, so I'm currently streaming in Opera. But I use Firefox a lot. I don't use Chrome anymore, but when I'm on my MacBooks, I also use Safari sometimes. But I'm a big fan of Opera and Firefox. So, but if you're on your mobile setup, you can join from your mobile. Yeah. Let's see if I can tap here. So you can join from, I think you can even use your Safari browser on mobile. But all I think I think you use Safari. So on mobile, you can use more browsers because they run on a different different engine. So if you can use your mobile and join me for a quick chat here, Sadaf, before we're closing down, that would be great, because it would be great to hear your experience of the SDG Hackathon as well. So try the link on your mobile browser. It should work on almost any, I think, or you can just download Firefox or both Opera and Firefox are great mobile apps as well. So I use Firefox and Opera a lot on my mobile when I surf. So. Let's see, where are we? I'm checking my on my other screen here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have my all following all the different hashtags and everything going on Twitter, and I follow it on Messenger. So I have my own live gathering studio following the hashtags. Hack the Crisis, SWE, DK, Netherlands, Global Hack. I'm following one in Cyprus, Australia as well. So I have a lot of Twitter flows here following what people are saying, and I also have a Slack channel. Most of hackathon people used to love Slack, so Slack is the go-to channel and communication when you're in a hackathon. So many people use that as well. So if you're not familiar with Slack, please you can get familiar with that. So hello, Rabi. Is it working again? Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. So what's going on? Have you been following some of the streams here on your conversation of a global community? What's your thing? You interview people from all over the world, so you have a global mindset for sure. So what's your experience of being a global connector in the things you do in your interviews?
Video बना रही हूँ. Okay, I can share it with you. Like when you posted a lot of links, I just thought that what it is about. Then I didn't I don't know. I didn't click on it and don't see it. What is happening there? And as far as concerned, that I interview people. I interview on a daily basis. Like the time is at 9 p.m. and I do that.
Yeah.
So that's, and congratulations that finally you have started your own live stream. It's good.
Yeah.
And how is it doing? How many guests you have taken?
How many guests? I think there's been constantly around between 40 and 20 guests here, YouTube and Facebook, but now we're down to like under 10 because it's the end of a 2-hour conversation. So there's been a lot of people with me so far. And there's many people who have commented who's been following. So I think this is a great experience for me as well.
Okay, tell me today what was the topic? You was randomly talk or what was the topic today?
If you read the description, this is about there's a global movement of hackathons that's called Hack the Crisis that started in Estonia 2 or 3 weeks ago. Then all the countries followed up, and now there's at least 15 cities all over the world or countries doing a global hackathon in their city or their country around solving a lot of the crisis, saving lives, saving community, and saving the economy. So that mostly digital solutions, but as any digital solution or app, you need a lot of different competences, people who know government, who know regulation, people who know marketing, people who know storytelling. So it's not just digital competences. And there's hundreds of mentors showing up in every country, helping all the entrepreneurs and the hackers to solve their problems as well. So it's a community building experience. At the same time, it's a problem solving experience, and at the same time, we just experience what it is to do a digital hackathon online. Most hackathon until now has been physical meetups where you sit together in a room, and then you gather it in a larger room wherever I'm pitching and present their idea, and you work around the clock in a locale or a event stuff like that. But at this moment, this has been organized digitally all over the world. So everyone who has produced an hackathon before is also on the learning journey to learning how to do this digitally. So it's been a fantastic experience, and we just experienced the global experience as well. Let's see, Sadaf is here, so we can bring her online as well. see if her camera is ready. Soon it will be ready, and we can bring us that. So it's a learning experience, and the conversation is about the learning we do together now as a global community around problem solving and innovation. A lot of the startup and IT people are online in this, but so many people I've been getting to know for the last 10 years here in Sweden and Nordics. I can see all of them now posting about this hackathon. So many of them are very on board on this experience. But like we said in the beginning with Carolina and Sherry and Dimitrij said, there's also like they're all range of experience, people who've been doing digital stuff for many years, but also people who just experienced the first digital experience of collaborating together online. So let's see, Sadaf has not picked yet if he works on a mobile. Can you hear Sadaf? Nothing yet.
I think she's here.
Yeah, she's here. So she didn't work on a laptop, but like like Abdul said before, the StreamYard tool was perfectly on your phone browser. If you're not, I'm the host, so I have to have a computer. But if you're not the host, yes, you can join perfectly from your browser. I don't know what browsers work on mobile yet. So I have to explore that if it's the same, or if browsers like Safari work on iPhone as well. But Firefox and Opera are apps, or Chrome are also an app on most mobiles, so you can use some of them if you have a mobile phone to join this channel. If you
one thing that help you, another thing that can help you is that when you go to mobile and you want to host the session from the mobile, you just go to the Google Chrome and then go to the setting and click on the option like desktop, mobile desktop, and when you click on that, you can also host it on the mobile as well.
Okay, yeah, so you use the desktop version on your mobile, so then it will be working. Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of a person, and okay, so you are hosting this session, hackathon crisis.
I'm hosting my show about the hackathon crisis. There's a lot of people doing the actual hosting of the events. Yeah. So I talked to the Danish and the Swedish one today, the organizers from the Danish and the Swedish hackathon here on my channel at the beginning of this conversation, if you go back to the beginning. So, and I've been trying to get in contact with Cyprus and Australia as well to see what I can learn from them. And I'm going to see tomorrow if I can get a hold of someone who did a Norwegian and a Finnish one that is finished last week. Or last weekend, to see if they can share their experience as well. So tomorrow I'm going to see if I can connect with some of the people and see what their learning is and how we can learn and build from that. And I'm going to see if I can find other people as well doing this. So if you know anyone or can tip me of anyone, if you're following this if you see this, please get me in contact with some people who can share their learnings around this hackathon experience or the digital learning in general. So.
Okay, sure. When we will go online tomorrow?
I have no set time, so I will adapt to the actual people coming on to the show. So, but if I can, I'll go live around 3 p.m. Swedish time. That's Central European. So that you're 4 or 3 hours ahead of us.
I think 4 hours, maybe. Now the time is 11 p.m. in my country. So
yeah, you're 3 hours ahead of us then. Yeah.
Okay, fine. It means that in your country.
So it'd be 6 p.m. by your time.
6 p.m. in your time.
In your time, 3 p.m. here. So.
Okay, fine. And there is Angelica. I think she's saying something in Swedish.
Yeah. She's a Swedish friend. So she says some Swedish stuff here. So Sadaf, are you there or working at all in your browser?
I think she's here, but we can't see her.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to share one. Nice to talk with you. I want to share something with you. Now the days are in the quarantine and we are sitting in the home and like trying to connecting with the world from these kind of digital stuffs. And the new thing, yes, she is here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't want my video, but it's okay.
It's okay. How are you, Sadaf?
Okay. We are
I'm
all
good.
human. If you have you followed Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand? She did an actual Facebook Live in her pajamas, so you have nothing to be ashamed
Okay.
of.
No,
So
it's okay. I
yeah,
think you're doing a wonderful job, and I just wanted to share something. I think we all need to give a lot of credit, to the doctors who are in forefront, fighting in this crisis.
yeah,
I want to appreciate all around the world, the nurses, doctors, the paramedic staff, the ambulance staff.
yeah.
They're doing quite. There's a
They're
great, it's
like
very tough.
like amazing human work. So they're the true heroes of
Yes.
our society. The
Yeah.
caretakers and the helpers, like the doctors are. So I'm a big shout out to all the people doing this amazing work.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest and personal friend here in my hometown is a doctor as well. So he shares a lot about the stories going on here. So it's
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of what's going on there. Not in personal experience, but he tells me a lot. So there's some tremendous work despite all the system flaws that we now discover in many medical systems all over the world. Despite the flaws, they're doing amazing work. So
Yeah, and I think that's the humanity. I think we all are coming together. It brings us together, and also the climate change. That the figures that I'm seeing all over the world, they're coming. I mean, the air pollution figures,
yeah,
the industrial, everything is the climate. The ozone is healing itself. So I think there are some advantages as well also during this Corona crisis. If we look in depth. And with a positive mindset, we need to be engaged. Again, you're doing a wonderful job. I myself is having the SDGs Hackathon, trying to engage the language of the global stakeholders to be interactive. Even the local people, we should be talking to each other. And technology, thank God, internet is working, guys. I mean, that's how we are connected.
yeah.
And
Just think of a crisis like this without electricity and internet.
imagine, and
Then we would
Netflix. Sure, and we can, like, we have access to Netflix, to the we can watch some movies or seasons or read a book. It's our time. Spend it, in a nice way, family time. So I think a lot of things are happening, but back of the mind, of course, it's there. So how are things in Sweden?
Yeah, it's fairly controlled. What I know of, I'm in southern Sweden, so I'm not in Stockholm, with the main part where a lot of actual Corona cases are here in Sweden. So here it's fairly relaxed and chill so far. We don't see a lot of things happening. So I don't know the rest. Talk to my friends in Stockholm, and I said it's more crazy there. But we're not in lockdown. I talked to a friend in London today, and I talked to a friend in Nairobi yesterday. Says they're confined to their apartment. They're not allowed to leave their apartment. But we are allowed here in Sweden still. We don't know if this is right or other countries' model is right. We don't know how widespread the corona is, and what's so many people. Bertola said today he saw a Chinese study coming out today that said that 80% of people actually had corona without even knowing it. So we don't know how big it is really and what's going on. So, and that's the problem with the world, with so many both false and true stories spreading around.
Yes.
People can't make sense of what's going on, and mass media is certainly not helping.
Yeah. No, I'm not watching like just the headlines. I watch like BBC, Al Jazeera, or
Yeah.
Euronews, just the headlines to see what's happening around the world. And then
Yeah.
I'm not even trusting the social media. And I think we should tell the people not to trust the social media forwards that we get, like, because you don't know, and it's cybersecurity, the cyber war we are in. So I think we should not even forward those messages, keep them,
never.
delete them,
Don't forward
just
it.
yeah. And I think online classes in a productive way, announce like our teams are doing, their people are learning Chinese over here, or some photography class, art class, online classes on SDGs or tourism. There's so much that you can do. So, the positive vibes should be, we should, share those with things rather than, so that is, I think, we all should be doing. And I'm just thinking, like, I used to go to gym every day, so I want to tell people online I'm doing Zumba class every day from 4 to 5 p.m. 1 hour I'm like exercising in my room. So that's the way to do it, like, because I'm very active. And I don't like, I have very beautiful view from my home. I can see the hills, Margala Hills of Islamabad. I see beautiful sunsets. You must be seeing my pictures. I post them and
I've
trying
seen
to
that, yeah.
trying to see, take pictures. I can walk in my street, but it's nothing like active exercise. So I don't have any gym equipment, but I'm doing exercises at home to keep myself active.
Yeah.
So yes, so I think, and I can't wait to go back to travel because I miss traveling. We all are travelers. So I'm already planning my vacation. Where am I going to do for my work trip? So yes.
Yes. And we had a great experience also for the first time organizing our digital SDG hackathon. And in the beginning of this conversation, we talked to the Swedish and the Danish organizer of the hackathon. That's a bit large scale. There's 7,000 people attending here in Sweden digitally, and they're learning for the first time how to do this digital as well. So it's all a learning experience, and we have to treat it like that, to be curious about and dare to experiment and not feel too sorry when technology or something goes wrong, because in this learning experience we can get a lot better and a lot faster in doing this. And it's amazing to like just connect to you digitally. You're in Pakistan, and I just talked to Kurt, who was in California, and it's an amazing experience to see what we can learn from each other in a time like this, when people are suddenly waking up to the ability to connect. I've been doing this for many, many years, but some people are doing it for the first time during this couple of weeks. Then we have to be aware of the different levels of experience and the understanding of what we can do with tools like this as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The young people are so smart. Even I learned how to use Zoom. So it's like, I'm also learning. Every day is a learning experience, but it's easy. Starting even now when you said log in through your phone. So I tried from my laptop, and then I went through my phone and I just logged in.
It works.
Yeah, and it works. So yes, so technology, and it's doing wonders. We are in a digital world, and that's the max. I mean, it's good to talk to, because you sometimes, even if you have positive attitude, sometimes you feel low during this time. So I feel happy talking to you, and Rob is there as well, listening as well, and so many people are listening. So I think it's the video call, the effect that we're talking to each other, it diverts our mind. So how would are restaurants open over there? Are people going out, or they taking takeaways, or cinemas are opened?
Yeah, there's some. Most of them are still open, but they have very few customers, and there's a great organization here in my local city to have home delivery from different restaurants. So there's a bike messengers doing the home delivery, and they're biking around in their face masks and everything, doing home delivery. But many of them are already going out of business, because especially the restaurant business is a low margin industry, so they don't even survive 2 weeks without customers. So many of them are already closed here, and this is just one field and niche. There's like the whole event industry, the culture industry, the music, theater. Everyone is out of business, and the repercussions and the cascade effects in a culture-based society like we have. Many people are working in these industries here in Sweden. We export a lot of the music and culture. We're famous for our music export and culture. So there's a lot of cascade effects that's going to take place during the coming months, and we don't know what's going on, and we need a new way of helping these people out. So we can't just leave people to suffer their own fate, because then it's going to be horrible. That's what they do mostly in America. Then it's your own fault if you're full of ill luck in society there, and that's not the story and the thing we want in the rest of the world. Like we want the local communities to take care of each other and help each other out. And there's so many great examples, people sharing all kinds of stuff, like supporting local businesses and stuff already. But this is just like a support phase of this. Very, very soon, in the coming 2 weeks, we have to figure out another way to do things here. And then we have to figure out that we have to have meetings like this, and we have to elevate both the national and the global conversation on how we solve this. And I'm one of the people who's very, very keen on taking part in the global conversation.
Michael, I would like to add, because
Yeah.
by profession, I'm, as you know, I'm a travel and tourism consultant, and I want
Yeah.
to know how you guys are, because our tourism industry is badly hit. And I had
Yeah.
a Zoom conference with my tourism stakeholders last week, naming it the Pakistan Tourism Crisis Council, kind of a name. I gave it to them, and they're really concerned because our economy, Pakistan economy, is not strong, and they cannot give benefits like US is given to the tourism industry. I've heard they've given $1.5 billion for the tourism companies, for the hoteliers, and to other associations relating to the hospitality industries. But what should we do? I want to hear about from global perspective, because so many especially in the northern areas, it just relies on summer tourism, and and winter tourism as well. So, and they're really poor people. The local, they are employees of those hotels. Some hotels are on lease. The transportation, everything is affected. So I want to know from global perspective. Do you have any information? Can you share with me?
I'm not have any contacts in that industry at all. But I heard from my friends that says like everything is in downfall, like tourism, event, culture, food industry, and me myself, I'm an entrepreneur doing keynotes, workshops, and talks like that. I have all my assignments gone away. I have nothing. So my whole so I'm like, if you're employed, like some of the people working with the hackathon, they're employed in different companies and institutions. They still have their work. But if you are like me and some of the people who are already in the gig economy, we're out already. So, and we have to either become very creative and sell ourselves to find other ways to do things. But I don't know how to do anything. But like in the big industry, like hotels, tourist industries, like that is million dollar business industries, and they're totally out. They're gonna fall one after another.
I think we should, you and Bertola, we should have a separate discussion, because globally we should exchange views with each other, how we can learn from what the other countries are doing. So I think that is going to be an interesting topic, because with tourism, a lot of industries are interconnected. It's your hotels, your cultural shows, your air journeys, your bus journeys, your the
local
adventure
guides,
parks, theme parks.
everything.
So much is
Diving,
interconnected.
hiking, everything is connected.
Everything,
And people just find out now how globally connected we really are. It's not.
Yes.
It's amazing that people not aware of like this, and like of course many people are surprised, but there should at least have been a couple of thousand people in every country very prepared, and that they had the insight and the knowledge of what's going to happen at the times like this. But we're surprised to find there's none. So that's how people like you, me, and Bartola, we have to step up and come up with new solutions around it. So
yeah, and bringing people together at this time, that's the unified, the global, like we are the facilitators, like so that we can bring people together and exchange views and opinions among ourselves. So how are the groceries? Are you cooking for yourself on a lighter note? What do you cook?
I'm a home cooker, so I've been cooking all my life. So I have I have a lot of food, and I cook at home every day. So I love to cook.
So do you cook salmon, fish? What do you like to cook?
I like Swedish traditional mashed potatoes with fish and stuff, and I also do a lot of wok, like Chinese, less spice, not the Vietnamese or the Thailand type, less spicy wok, vegetables and some rice or noodles or pasta. So that's what I love the most.
Okay, that's good. So, anyone else who's joining you, or can I leave? Or what's the? I don't know how your show works.
I've been online for 2.5 hours now, but a guy I know from New York is trying to join here, but I don't know if he's joining. But at least
I can stay on if you want me to.
A couple more minutes, then I think I can close down for the evening.
I've only been to Gothenburg. I was in Oslo last year. I did the Scandinavian trip, so I started from Oslo. And then I went by road, I think, to Gothenburg. And then the new bridge that is made, the longest bridge between Denmark and Sweden. What's it called?
Öresundsbron. So
Yes. So I drove because I wanted to see that bridge. So I went from Gothenburg to Copenhagen. So that was a really nice trip. Yes.
Yeah, it's the whole west coast of Sweden, and that's where I live. So I love in the beachy part. There are lots of beaches with sands and dunes here, and beach forests. It's very beautiful. So that's where I live.
But me and Amar, we are planning a trip as soon as things go back to normal.
Yeah, you're very welcome here.
Welcome
Yeah, Rehan stayed in my home here, so yeah.
Okay. So I'm like a backpacker. Like I travel a lot, so I don't mind, the whole day I'm out, and then when I'm come, I crash and I just sleep. So, so it's always good to know somebody local from there. So it's easy, like, so many things they can tell you where to go, what to do and stuff.
I'll be your guide. So.
So are the airports open over there? Do you have?
I think they're open, but there are very few flights on them. So people are very restrictive. But they're not. You're allowed to travel if you can. But I'm not. I don't know anyone who's traveled, so I don't know how many actually travels days. So no one has spoken to so far has traveled in the last couple of days. So I don't know what's going on there. I knew some friends of mine flew home from New Zealand 2 weeks ago. They're in my hackathon group, so I'm gonna hopefully have a video call with them and try to find out their experience of watching this from a distance and then going home during this crisis. So.
Okay, and hope to see you on 6th on my show as well. And
we have the SDG Hackathon on Monday. You shared
Monday.
The Zoom call.
And try to get your friends, even if they're listeners. I want as many international speakers so that we know.
So
Tag your friends.
I'll use the new channel and the new friends I made during this to see if they want to join in this experience. Of course, it's connected because it's the hackathon.
Yes.
So if I can get fresh eyes and perspective into the I'll do that. So. And I share it in my channels on Twitter and here. So
yeah, thank you. And how's the weather? It's changing. It's like spring is coming up, or
it's springtime.
Still...
So we and like if you live in the northern part of Sweden, you sit in the dark home alone for half a year, and suddenly the sun comes up, and everyone wants to go out, and you get you get new romantic feelings if for your spouse, or if you're single like me, you get new romantic feelings, and you're not allowed to meet people suddenly. So it's very strange.
Okay.
Yeah, so the spring experience here is going to be interesting. How will people handle this at the human level of now I want to go out and meet a boy or a girl, or now I just want to go out and grab a we love beer here in Sweden, so you want to go out and grab a beer out when the servings open up outside, so you can sit outside for the first time in half a year. So, and we are not allowed to do this. Some cafes are actually allowed to have their outside opening open, because then it's easier to do physical distancing. So at least we can do that in some way. So it's going to be curious to see. Is there any cafes or restaurants that's even survives that can have open? We don't know that yet. So.
Yeah, but I think we should hope for the best, and let's see. There are a lot of takeaways here as well. They're open, and we have 4 seasons. So spring is coming up here as well. So let's see. Yeah.
Hello, Peter. As a friend of mine, Peter Sipin. He's a very cool DJ here in Sweden who does fantastic DJ shows. So there's hope, Captain Future, he says there. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna figure out a way to stay alive and connected and do the best stuff for our culture and celebration together. I know Peter had a live stream DJ show. I see in my world, I follow a lot of people do video streaming, gaming streaming, and music streaming. And a lot of DJs are starting music streaming, so you can listen in and dance in your home as well. So that's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing.
And everything free. It's on Twitch, or they stream on Facebook, or they stream on stuff like that. So.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. If no one's joining us, I think we're gonna close down now. 2.5 hours.
Okay, sure. Okay, take a break and see you soon.
Take a break, and I'll be back tomorrow, everyone. So
bye,
Sadaf, and bye, everyone. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Let's do this together. Bye. Love you. Bye.